hot with a 4.99 super chat. Thanks, Dave. We appreciate it. SEC, it only means more when we come up with an excuse why.
Yes, I think I tweeted when the SEC loses, it just means more excuses is what I put out there, and that seemed
Yeah.
to gain a little bit of steam. But I do want to say, like, I am all for dunking on the SEC. Don't get me wrong, but I want to highlight Illinois first
Yes.
here
Yeah.
and how great of a win this was for them. Illinois gets the win, 30-28, walk off field goal by David Olano. Great stuff from Illinois. Luke Altmyer, a very fitting end. As soon as that kickoff return went back for a touchdown, I don't want to say that I felt like Illinois was, like the game was in hand or anything, but I felt like, okay, this is kind of perfect, right? Luke Altmyer leads Illinois down the field, get him a game-winning field goal with David Olano, with how awesome, with how nails he's been this season. It was just a perfect ending for the season. I mean, not a perfect ending. Yeah, Illinois fans would have rather been in the playoffs. I get that, but for the season, the way it played out and everything else, it was a really good ending to the season, and I'm really happy for Luke Altmyer, who's been there for 3 years now. First year was a little rough with John Paddock, taking over and stuff like that, but he stuck with it. He played at Illinois, and he is going to be one of the best quarterbacks that Illinois has ever had in their history of a program.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Fornelli put up his top 4 quarterbacks of all time in Illinois, and Luke Altmyer is firmly in there. Of course, Tom Fornelli of Cover 3, also a big time Illinois fan. And this was a great performance by Altmyer. I thought he had some good throws. He navigated his own running really well, made a lot of good reads in the run game. Ended up with 10 carries for 54 yards and a touchdown in this game. He is the reason why they won this game ultimately. His poise and his decision making, he it, Illinois could have folded after that special teams play, right? Like Illinois controlled the game, and then that special teams gaff, and it was a gaff. I mean, they saw the ball uh, get fumbled, and they got out of their rush lanes. And the return man for Tennessee, I'm not sure who it was. It was Jakim Dodson, who had that 94-yard touchdown kickoff. It was a terrible play by Illinois, and Altmyer comes back and just ices the game.
Yeah, it was fantastic stuff. And I mean, really, the entire game, for them to control the game the way they did, Tennessee played right into their hands. Other than that one special teams miscue, I felt like, Bret Bielema outcoached Tennessee the entire game. Time possession was 36-23, and 36-24. And I don't, there were some people saying,
Yeah.
well, if they didn't have the kick return, well, you know what? If Illinois didn't have the strip sack for a touchdown either, things even out, people. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't understand how we don't understand football. I'm not saying anybody in our chat, just talking about Twitter and the insanity of people out there. But
Are you
go ahead.
saying that Josh Heupel got out coached in the Music City Bowl again?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Keep
this
going.
this is a common theme, yes.
Yep.
But 7 points off turnovers, and what they were able to do on that last drive, 4th and 1, you go to Jordan Anderson with the handoff there that was kind of not tricky, but not exactly what they expected. Caden Fagan, to put him out there, looked like he got stopped, but he just pushed the offensive line forward that set them up to be able to set the ball in the middle of the field. It was just a great thing. It wasn't any one player for Illinois. Yes, Luke Altmyer is a star there, but it wasn't just any one player. It just shows how much of a true team this Illinois team is, and how that wins you the game over SEC teams that come out and have to have their star players. Look, we're going to talk about USC in a second and them having opt-outs and whether that mattered and stuff like that, but Tennessee's opt-outs 100% mattered in this one because, number one, they don't have the depth, and number two, they don't have a full team. They do not have the coaching that inspires a team like the Big Ten does, and especially like somebody like Bret Bielema, who has done such a great job in his career, is able to form.
Yeah, and there's opt-outs on both sides, so it impacts both teams. And I think the fact that Illinois was able to get to the quarterback without Gabe Jacas Like they were after Aguilar. And what I couldn't understand, like Tennessee ran the ball fairly well. The running statistics are a little misleading in this game because it's 4.2 yards per carry. Aguilar ran 9 times for -3 yards because of I think either 4 or 5 sacks. So if you take his rushing stats out, it's 28 carries for 154 yards. It's about 5.5 yards. It is actually exactly 5.5 yards per carry. But because they were just bent on throwing deep, they got crushed. I mean, that's part of the reason why they had that strip sack. This was like Illinois, I think, wins this game regardless, but it was coaching malpractice what Josh Heupel was doing again. And this is why it drives me nuts that Tennessee gets all this hype year in and year out, and that Josh Heupel gets all this hype about being a good coach, because this is what we've seen in this bowl game against Big Ten teams over and over and over again. He is not a good coach. And Bret Bielema, it was a masterclass. They should have won by more. That's how much better that Illinois was today than Tennessee was. It had nothing to do with opt-outs, had everything to do with coaching. Bielema coached circles around him.
Yeah, and I don't want to go as far to say that Josh Heupel isn't a good coach, because I do respect Josh Heupel and how he was able to get Tennessee out of some of their, some of their bad business that they had with the cheating and the fines and stuff like that. And I do think that there's something respectable there. But it just goes to show how much better the coaching is in the Big Ten when you have a team like Illinois with Bret Bielema just completely out coaching a guy like Josh Heupel. It's considered one of the better coaches in the SEC, especially with what he was able to bring Tennessee out of and stuff like that. So I completely agree with you. Better coaching by Bret Bielema. The Big Ten after this game was 6-0. Now they're 6-1. We'll talk about the one here in a second, but bad performance by Tennessee, but the bad performance by Tennessee was more so because of good play by Illinois.
Yes.
I think there's a conversation about Aaron Henry and the defensive coordinator still. I don't know if we need to have that conversation, but
they need to get rid of him.
Yeah,
it's not good.
I would say that, like, you do need to consider the secondary was pretty depleted this season. They had injuries and stuff like that. But there's been too much inconsistency, I think.
Yeah. Can we talk about Khalil Valentine? Mm-hmm. He had 8 carries for 65 yards and 3 catches for 28 yards. I thought he looked like the most explosive player on that team, and I'm excited for his future.
Yeah. I like him a lot. I honestly thought he should have gotten the ball more this season. Yes. Not anything against Aiden Lawfrey. I felt like they kind of went to Caden Fagan a little bit too much this season, but I just don't know if they were using him the right way. Khalil Valentine is kind of your third down back, catch the ball, also be able to run it, stuff like that. I really like him, and I think that he's going to be a huge piece for them moving forward next season.
Yeah. So he was electric today.
Yeah. Anything else on this Illinois game?
No, I mean, just kudos. I was thinking about this, and I know Illinois fans are not disappointed, but the expectation was playoffs this year, or at least the hopes was playoffs. And how great is it that Bielema has raised the expectation level, that a 9-win season leaves you wondering what could have been? Whereas, like, 2 years ago, it's like, this is one of the best seasons in Illinois history, right?
Yeah, I mean,
one of the best 2-year, and it is the best 2-year run in Illinois history. But, like, the fact that there's a sense of, like, there could have been more.
Yeah, no, totally agree. We'll end on this. Credit to Ben Stevens for this stat I was going to mention at the beginning. He said 19 total wins the last 2 years is the most in a 2-year span in Illinois football history. 9+ wins in back-to-back years is the first time in Illinois history. Back-to-back bowl wins. Bielema, first head coach in Illinois history to do that. Very special. And like you said, it says something about the program and how much on the rise they are, that the fans were also saying, but there could have been more this season. And I don't think that spoiled fandom. I think that it's fair for Illinois fans to say, if we didn't lose to Wisconsin, there could have been more, right?
Yep.
If we didn't get blown out by Washington, there could have been more. Those were two winnable games for Illinois that they weren't able to capitalize on. So